Hey class, today we're going to be looking at order of operations again, but this time with positive and negative numbers. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to simplify expressions that contain multiple operations with integers. So review real quick, the order of operations are rules we follow when simplifying expressions with more than one operation. And we can remember the PEMDAS to help us remember what the order is, parentheses or our grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication and division going from left to right, and then addition and subtraction going from left to right. Let's look at some examples. Number 1 says -6 times -5 divided by 5 plus 2. So are there grouping symbols? There are parentheses, but those parentheses are just around the -5 to let us know to multiply it by -6. So other than that, there's no parentheses or grouping symbols. Are there exponents? No. Is there multiplication and division? Yes. And we're going to do that from left to right. So in this problem, we can see that multiplication appears first, so we're going to multiply first. -6 times -5, a negative times a negative is positive, and 6 times 5 is 30. Then we're going to bring down everything we haven't done yet. Now we have 30 divided by 5 plus 12. So now we can divide. 30 divided by 5 is 6. Bring down the plus 12. And if we add, 6 plus 12 is 18. All right, so same thing as order of operations with positive numbers. Now we just have to use our integer rules to help us simplify. Number 2 says -40 divided by -15 plus 5. So this time we have parentheses that are telling us to simplify something inside it. So we can simplify -15 plus 5. So we're going to bring down the -40 and the division sign because we haven't done anything with that yet. And -15 plus 5, right? They're different signs, so we have positives and negatives. We have 5 positives and 15 negatives. So who's winning? The negatives, and by how much? 5. So -5. Now we're going to do -40 divided by -5. A negative divided by a negative is positive, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. So your final answer is +8. Number 3 says 24 plus 2 squared, or 2 to the second power, times 3 divided by 6. So here, do we have parentheses? No. Do we have exponents? Yes. We have the 2 squared, which means 2 times 2, which is 4. So we're going to do 24 plus 4, and bring down that times 3 divided by 6. Now we have multiplication and division. Multiplication comes first, so we're going to do 4 times 3 is 12. And bring down everything else. And I believe this problem we actually did yesterday in our positives only, but that's okay. Now we have addition and division, so we're going to divide. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So 24 plus 2, and we get a final answer of 26. Number 4 says 4 times -7 all over, or divided by 8 plus -2 times 5. So remember, this fraction bar means to divide, and it also groups the top expression and the bottom expression. So we have to simplify them separately before we divide. So 4 times -7 is going to give us -28. And then on the bottom, we have 8 plus -2 times 5. So we need to multiply before we add. So -2 times +5 is -10. And now we have to do our addition. So we have +8 and -10. So we've got our positive team and our negative team. Positives have 8, negatives have 10. Who's winning? The negatives. And by how much? 2. Now we have -28 divided by -2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. All right, now I want you to try on your own number 1 and 2, and then when you're ready, hit continue so you can check your answers with mine. All right, take a moment, check your answers with mine, pause the video. If you got one wrong, check for mistakes and try again. Make sure number 1 that you divided before you multiplied, right? Because multiplication and division we do in order from left to right or as they appear. So you must divide before you multiply number 1. All right, let's look at our last 2 problems. So give number 3 and number 4 a try and then hit continue when you are ready to check your answers. All right, take a moment, pause the video if you need to, check your answers with mine. If you got a different answer, make sure you go back, check your work, try again, and then check your work with my work to see where you made your mistake. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out and ask. Otherwise, this is all we have for today, so have a wonderful day.